Good morning, everyone. So, yesterday we talked about completion of a metric space. So, today we will see that how, uh, given a non-linear space, we can define completion of a non-linear space.
So actually, I had a doubt. Like, like in the definition of norm, can we generalize it to can we generalize it to vector spaces over fields which are which have some ordering structure, or say some lattice kind of a structure which will allow triangular inequality to be meaningful, and like magnitude also we can define for a lattice as in like it will be like supremum of lambda and minus lambda if we want to define magnitude of lambda.
Yeah, see, it is possible to define on more general than just R or C. So, but you need some kind of definition of similar to absolute value on that field, right? So, uh,
Right.
I think
So
there are like more general fields where like these things are defined, but I mean, for this course, we will only stick to like field of real numbers or complex numbers. Of course, you can take any subfield. So if you take Q, then you can consider it the same way. So, but yeah, if there is some other field where like you can define something like mod lambda, then you can talk about a norm on that vector space.
okay, okay, thank you, sir.
So okay, so let me state this theorem. So let X be a non-linear space, then there exists a Banach space X tilde such that X is dense in. Maybe let me write explicitly what we mean by. So we say X is dense in X tilde, but actually, okay, let me write this and dense in X tilde in the sense that there exists an isometry phi from X to X tilde such that phi of X is dense in X tilde. So this is what we discussed for completion of a metric space, that we say that for any metric space X tilde is completion if uh, there exists a metric space X tilde and an isometry from X to X tilde such that this phi of X is dense in X tilde. So we identify this phi of X with X. So in that sense, X can be considered as a subset of X tilde. So and again, there is uniqueness in some sense that if there are like two such spaces, then uh, there exists an isometry A between them, such that restricted to this X, it is the just the identity map. So I'm not writing that. So let's prove this. So what we know is that given a non-linear space, so we can define a metric. So there is a metric induced by this norm. So we have X with norm. So let D be the metric induced by the norm on X. That is, we have D of xy is equal to norm of X minus Y, or xy in X. So now we have a metric space, and then we know that any metric space has a completion. So we consider this X as a metric space. So let X tilde with I defined this capital D. So this be the completion of the metric space XD. So we take the completion. We know how this is done by taking the equivalence class of all Cauchy sequences and then defining the metric D as limit of dx and yn. So that we did yesterday. So we have now a complete metric space X tilde. But what we want is we want a Banach space. So that means that we want a complete non-linear space. So somehow we have to see that this D, this I mean, first of all, this X tilde, we need to be a vector space, and then this metric D, this should be induced by a norm on that vector space X tilde. So how do we define vector space structure on this X tilde? So if we take any two points in X tilde, we have to define the addition and scalar multiplication. So if let's call X, we wrote X tilde for, right? So let's write for X tilde Y tilde belonging to this X tilde. Okay, so if we take anything in X tilde, we know that X is dense in X tilde. So there exists a sequence of points in X which converges to this X tilde. So if X tilde Y tilde belongs to this, say, capital X tilde, let Xn Yn be sequences in X such that Xn converges to X tilde and Yn converges to Y tilde. So this is because X is dense in X tilde.
So here like we are considering the isometries like phi xn and phi
Yeah,
y.
yeah, exactly. So this again, when I say that this xn converges to x tilde, actually this is phi of xn converging to x tilde and phi of yn converging to y tilde. So we identify this x with phi of x, and in that sense. So strictly speaking, you should write phi xn. This converges to x tilde and phi yn converging to y tilde. But normally, I mean, we write like x is dense in x tilde, so therefore we write like this. Right? So then uh, what we know is that this xn and yn, these are actually Cauchy sequences in x, and therefore if I take then xn and yn are Cauchy sequences in x, and the so therefore this xn plus yn, and let me also write, and so lambda xn, these are Cauchy sequences in x. So we can on x is, we know, is a vector space, so I can add xn plus yn and multiply by a scalar. So these are Cauchy sequences in x. So then we can define now, or so we wanted to define what is x tilde plus y tilde and lambda times x tilde. So so define x tilde plus y tilde equal to limit of xn plus yn lambda times x tilde is equal to limit of lambda xn. So you should check that this operation is well defined, because you see we said that if I have x tilde, then there exists some sequence xn such that xn converges to x tilde. Actually, this means that we are looking at actually phi of xn converging to x tilde. And what is phi of xn? This is the equivalence class of xn, right? So actually, we have in x tilde, we have equivalence class of Cauchy sequences. So if I have any other Cauchy sequence which is equivalent to this Cauchy sequence xn, and some Cauchy sequence y equivalent to the sequence yn, then we have to show that this limit will be independent of that, right? So if I take instead of xn and yn, xn prime and yn prime, then limit of xn prime plus yn prime, that should be same as limit of xn plus yn, right? So but that is clear by the definition of that equivalence relation, because if you look at the difference, then you get, yeah, so that the difference of the norm of xn plus yn and xn prime plus yn prime, that is the same as norm of xn minus xn prime and plus yn minus yn prime, which is less than equal to sum of the norm of xn minus xn prime and yn minus yn prime. So that is d of xn prime and d of yn prime. But because of the equivalence relation, that dxn xn prime goes to 0 and dy and yn prime, so that difference will go to 0. So this, I'll just write that, check that. The above operations are well defined. Okay, so and x tilde is a vector space with these operations. Right, so now we have given a vector space structure on this metric space x tilde, and then it is easy to see that how you define the norm. So now define norm of x tilde is equal to, so we know that this x tilde, if we take, then this is, there is some Cauchy sequence xn, right, which converges to this x tilde. So we can simply define as limit of norm of xn and going to infinity. So this xn is same, like we wrote here for x tilde, we have this Cauchy sequence whose equivalence class that converges to this x tilde. So if we define like this, then you have to check that this is a norm, and the metric induced by this is same as that capital D. So that again, because this is nothing but this is same thing as if you see limit n tending to infinity of distance between xn and 0, which is same as, yeah, because norm of xn, capital X is a norm linear space, so that is same as distance between xn and 0, and the limit of this dxn 0, that will be equal to capital D of x tilde and 0, right? So this norm of x tilde, this is same as D of x tilde and 0, and then you can also see that. So this norm is a norm on X tilde, and if we look at D of any X tilde, Y tilde, this by definition is the limit of dx and yn, right? The distance between x tilde and y tilde is defined as limit of dx and yn, where xn is a Cauchy sequence and yn is a Cauchy. So this x tilde is the equivalence class of the Cauchy sequence xn, and y tilde is the equivalence class of the Cauchy sequence yn. Then this distance is defined as limit of dx and yn. And what is d of x and yn? This is nothing but norm of xn minus yn. And which is same as norm of x tilde minus y tilde. Right? Because for x tilde minus y tilde, this is the equivalence class of the Cauchy sequence xn minus yn, and then by the definition of this norm of x tilde minus y tilde is nothing but limit of norm of xn minus yn. So this d of x tilde y tilde is equal to norm of x tilde minus y tilde. So therefore d is the same as metric induced by this norm on x tilde. So we already know that d is complete, which means that this norm is complete. So hence this x tilde with norm, this is a Banach space. Since d is complete. So this is the general result, that given any norm linear space, you can define completion of that norm linear space. If the norm linear space is already complete, then in that case this x tilde you can take as x itself, right? So in that case you don't have to take anything bigger. So let's see some concrete examples.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, in the previous page,
Yes.
when we are defining this x tilde plus y tilde, then we actually mean to write limit of phi of xn plus yn.
Yes, yes. So that is what I said, right? Because you have, but see this because if you think of limit of xn plus yn, that may not make sense, right? Because we don't know whether this Cauchy sequence converges or not, right? But when I go to phi of that, then the limit that exists, right?
Yes, sir. And sir, in the case of the definition of the norm of x tilde, where would phi come?
There also it is phi x, right?
Means limit n tending to infinity phi of norm xn.
Yes,
Norm
yes.
was defined on the original space x, so shouldn't it be norm of xn only? Because phi xn will be a
Yeah. This is okay. This I am defining only as norm of xn, but then you have to just check that this is well defined, right? Because instead of xn, if I take another Cauchy sequence which is equivalent to this xn, then this should give the same norm, same limit, right?
Yes, sir. Right. Yes.
So basically, what we are doing is uh, for x tilde is nothing but equivalence class of a Cauchy sequence xn. But then that is not unique, right? Instead of xn, you can take some other xn prime also. So norm of xn is defined on x. So we can look at norm of xn and then look at limit n tending to infinity. The thing is that why this limit exists. So that is because I mean this we know is that limit of distance between xn and 0, and this limit uh, we know that this exists, so that we proved in general that if we take any two Cauchy sequences xn and yn, then the limit of dxn yn that exists, and that is how we define this capital D of x tilde y tilde, right? So this limit we know this exists, and it is independent of the choice of the Cauchy sequence. So therefore, this is true. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So suppose we look at this. So let me write this C01 we have seen. This is the space of all continuous function on the closed interval 0, 1. So C01, this we can write is the completion of, we know that C01 is a complete, so it's a Banach space. So we can look at a subspace of that, which is dense in this C01. So then this C01 will be completion of that norm-linear space. So C01, this is completion of the space of all piecewise linear functions on 0, 1 with the sup norm. So what you have to see is that if we have any continuous function on the closed interval 0, 1, then you can write it as a limit of piecewise linear function on this. So let me write this space as y. So y is the space of all piecewise linear functions on 0, 1 with the sup norm. So this is because y is a dense subspace of C01. More simpler is that any continuous function on closed interval can be approximated by a polynomials, right? So that is by the Weierstrass approximation theorem. So if we look at the space of all polynomials on the closed interval 0, 1, then we know that is dense in C01. So this is also completion of the space of polynomials. Right. So in these cases, if you are given, say, the space of all polynomials on the closed interval 0, 1, and if we ask that, okay, can you say what is the completion of this non-linear space, then that is again C01 is taken with the sup norm, and same thing for the polynomials. So, in this case, we can concretely say that, okay, this is the space such that this is dense in that, and therefore this is completion, right? So instead of doing that abstract construction for the certain examples, you can explicitly write down uh, what the completion is. Similarly, that capital LP spaces, if you are familiar with, then that also we can write as the completion of the space of polynomials. So,
Like LP, it will contain the completion of polynomials, right? It won't exact. Like LP will be much larger than C01.
no, but we know that any function in LP that, yeah, so that is again the thing that, see, two completions need not be the same, right? So we can have two different spaces which are both completion of that same thing. So because any f belonging to capital LP, that can be approximated by a continuous function, right? This, if you have done a course on measure theory, you might have seen this, right? So, and then we know that any continuous function that can be approximated by polynomial. So if I take LP on the interval 0, 1, then that is the completion of again the space of
But
polynomial.
is there a
With
notion of a smallest completion, as in the
so what I mean is that, yeah, so if you take that norm as the integral, the p norm, then we have, so maybe I'll write this, but I'll not prove this. So for any p greater than equal to 1, this capital LP 0, 1, this is the completion of the space of polynomials with the norm. So norm FP, this is given as integral of mod FT to the P raised to power 1 by p. Right. So with respect to this norm, the space of polynomials with this norm, you can show that this is dense in capital LP, and therefore the capital LP is completion of this space.
Like, is there also a notion of a smallest, like the smallest completion?
No, see, these are all, whenever you have two completion, then you have an isometry between them, right? So
Okay.
we cannot talk about like smallest. So in that sense, it is actually unique, right? Completion we can. That is why we are saying this is the completion. So of course you can uh, have another space which is like that, right? So the thing is that the completion is unique in that sense of that existing isometry between them, right? So therefore, we don't need to say like the smallest completion or anything like that. So, but of course, like if you see Q, and then Q is dense in R, so you can say that R is completion of Q, right? So Q with the norm, and then real numbers with the usual norm, we see that that is completion. But uh, if you see the construction, then you will take Cauchy sequence of rational numbers and then look at the equivalence class, and that is how you define the completion, right? X tilde. So, in you might say that okay, that is not same as a real number. If you know real number in some other way, then that is not same thing as real number, right? So,
But
so
it will be
but yeah, but we identify that, right? So if I say a real number root 2, then if you take any sequence of rational number which converges to root 2, then we look at the equivalence class of that, and that we are called identifying with the real number root 2, right? So that is the thing that but of
But in
course you can have
examples
like
2 and 3, the norms are different, so that's why we were getting different spaces. Like,
yeah. But you can have like two different say y1 and y2, and y1 is not same as y2, but both are subspace of say some x, and y1 is also dense in x and y2 is also dense in x. Then x is the completion of y1 as well as y2. So that of course can happen. Okay, so next let me just talk about this convergence and absolute convergence of series. So convergence of series in a nonlinear space. So let X be a nonlinear space. It should be clear what we mean by a convergence of a series. So for a sequence Xn in X, we say the series summation Xn, this converges to x belonging to x if, so what should be the definition? This is the usual thing that we define the convergence of a series of real numbers or complex number. So we say that series converges to x if the sequence of partial sums, so if the sequence of partial sums let me write this as Sn is equal to summation xn n equal to 1 to n. This converges to x, which is same thing as writing norm of summation xn minus x. This goes to 0 as capital N goes to infinity. Right? So we'll have, because this is a vector space, I can take any finite number of sums. So we have Sn is summation of xn from 1 to capital N, and this gives a sequence of points in the norm linear space capital X. So this converges to X. We know what is the meaning of that. Sequence converging means that norm of the difference that goes to 0 as n goes to infinity. So then we say that this infinite series converges to X. So in this case, we will write, so then we write X is equal to summation of xn n equal to 1 to infinity. Now, what is the meaning of absolute convergence of this series? Series summation xn is said to be absolutely convergent if summation of norm of xn, this converges. Right. So this note that this is just a series of real numbers. This is in fact this is a series of non-negative real numbers, right? So this is this similar to a series of real numbers or complex number is said to be absolutely convergence if the summation of mod of xn that converges, right? So here instead of mod we have norm. So if we have any norm linear space, norm of xn, this is a non-negative real numbers. So if this series of non-negative real number this converges, then we say that summation xn is absolutely convergent. So now for real numbers or complex numbers, what we know is that if a series is absolutely convergent, then it is convergent. And of course, the converse is not true. So a convergent series need not be absolutely convergent. That you know example. For example, if you take alternating series summation minus 1 to the n by n, that you can show that that converges. So there we are taking just r with the usual norm, that is convergent, but it is not absolutely convergent because summation 1 by n, that does not converge. So a convergent series need not be absolutely convergent, but for real numbers we know that any absolutely convergent series is convergent. So is that true for any norm-linear space also? So what we will see is that if the non-linear space is complete, then that result is true. So what we need is completeness of this non-linear space. So, so let me write this theorem. If X is a Banach space, then every absolutely convergent series is convergent. And the proof also, if you recall how we prove it for real numbers, series of real numbers, then it is same thing we can do here, right? So what we actually do is that you look at the sequence of the partial sum, you have to prove that that converges. So for that, it is enough to show that it is Cauchy because R is a complete metric space. Uh, so if you would show that the sequence of partial sum is a Cauchy sequence, then it will converge to some point. And to show that it is Cauchy, there we will use that this uh, sequence of the summation of mod xn, that is convergent, right? So that same thing we can do here if we assume completeness. So the proof is, let Sn equal to summation of xn n equal to 1 to n. This is for n 1, 2, 3, and so on. So what we have to show is that this sequence converges. So for that we will prove that this is a Cauchy sequence. So then for n greater than m, if we write Sn minus Sm, this is equal to summation of n equal to m plus 1 to n of xn. So if we look at norm of this is norm of this, and this is less than equal to summation n equal to m plus 1 to capital N of norm xn by the triangle inequality. And what we know is that summation of norm xn that converges. So therefore, this can be made. So since summation of norm xn, this converges given any epsilon positive, there exists n naught such that this summation this is less than epsilon. So therefore, if n and m are bigger than equal to n naught, then norm of Sn minus Sm, that will be less than epsilon. So this implies Sn is a Cauchy sequence and since X is complete, Sn converges to some X belonging to X. Right. So this proof is exactly like we know for series of real numbers. So any absolutely convergent series is convergent, but we see that this completeness is crucial here. Without that, we cannot prove. So we will see that if the space is not complete, then we always have an absolutely convergent series which is not convergent. So that is the next thing. Okay, I have time to prove that. So theorem. A norm linear space X is complete. This is if and only if every absolutely convergent series in X is convergent. So one way we have already seen that if it is complete, then so this way. Proved in previous theorem. So now we have to prove the converse, that if every absolutely convergent series is convergent, then the space must be complete. So suppose every absolutely convergent series in X is convergent, to show X is complete. So let Xn be any Cauchy sequence be a Cauchy sequence in X. Then we have to show that this Xn is convergent, right? So because this is a Cauchy sequence, let me say this. So then we may assume that norm of xn minus xm, this is less than 1 by 2 to the n for all m bigger than equal to n. So using that this is Cauchy sequence, we are saying that we can assume that I can make this difference to be less than 1 by 2 to the n for every m bigger than equal to n. So if we can do this, now we will construct a series which is absolutely convergent. So, good. We can write x0 equal to 0 and yk is equal to xk minus 1 for k bigger than equal to 1. So y1 is same as x1, y2 is x2 minus x1 and so on. So if we write this yk, then what do we know? So then what is xn in terms of this yk? Xn is same as summation of yk k equal to 1 to n, right? Because this becomes a telescoping series. So if I write y1 plus y2 plus yn, then all the terms cancelled, only xn will remain. So xn is equal to summation of yk. So what we had to show is that xn converges. So convergence of xn is same thing as convergence of this series summation yk. So now why summation yk converges and what is norm of yk? Norm of yk is norm of xk minus 1, which is less than 1 by 2 to the k minus 1. So norm of yk is less than 1 by 2 to the k minus 1. So therefore, summation of norm of yk this is finite, right? So this is just the geometric series. So in fact, this will be less than 2. So summation norm yk is finite. So this will imply summation yk is absolutely convergent and hence convergent. But this is same thing as saying that xn converges. Right. So what we have shown is that if every absolutely convergent series is convergent, then every Cauchy sequence must be convergent in that. So this proves that this is complete. So if you can get in a non-linear space, if you can get a series which is absolutely convergent but not convergent, then it has to be incomplete. So this is one way to show that some space is not complete by showing that there exists some series which is absolutely convergent but not convergent. Uh, Okay, it is time to stop. So let me stop here. I wanted to say a little bit about this rearrangement of series. So maybe I'll comment that next time. And so after this, we will discuss about linear functional, and then there is this important theorem called Hahn-Banach theorem. So we will discuss that and look at the many application of that.